There is nothing wrong with your radio.
Do not attempt to adjust the volume.
We are controlling the broadcast.
For the next hour we will control all that you hear.
You are about to experience the knowledge and insights of the Media Mothership.
You're listening to Edge Radio 99.3 FM. This is Media Mothership here, broadcasting out of Edge Radio Studios in Nipaluna, Hobart, Tasmania.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
We explore how media can shape our understanding of the world around us. We're streaming on edgeradio.org.au as well as on YouTube and Twitch. Yep. Just find us by searching Media Mothership. We're also on the DAB, the DAB system, Digital Audio Broadcasting System. Message in during today's show because it's an exciting, fantastic deep dive that we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
So have this number ready, 0488811707, to ask us questions with our special guest as we're doing the next hour. You can also send a message on the chat on YouTube or Twitch. As always, I'm your host, Craig Norris, and we'll come back right after this tune. All right, welcome back. Special guest, Edward Williams. Edward.
Hello.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on. And co-host Taylor.
Hey.
So, Edward, you've been really generous in terms of giving us the exclusive media release on this new project you've set up. We've had you on in the past with Big Love Studios.
Yes.
This is like this. Well, you're a busy guy.
Yeah, no, this is a
whole
completely
new
different project, separate from Daniel. It's mine.
Yeah. So this is the launch. Well, you've launched already. Anyway, this is the part of the media tour you're doing, promoting
Media tour.
your media tour of your new tabletop role-playing game.
Yes.
Called Kingdoms of Amnesia.
Wow. Yes.
Yep. So, for those that don't know, what is tabletop role-playing games?
Oh, many people have many different definitions of a tabletop role-playing game, Craig, but my definition is it's basically collaborative role-playing with the medium of a set of rules. So without those rules,
yes.
the game element of it sort of isn't really there, and it's basically a marriage of the two, role-playing and gaming at the same time.
And people would know of Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess... If
yes,
we're
it's
talking
Dungeons and Dragons, Craig. Yeah, no, it's for people who aren't aware of it, Dungeons and Dragons is probably the best way and easiest way to sort of explain it to people. But
and you'll have like a storyteller, a games master there, and then people will choose characters. Like someone will be an elf, another person will be a dwarf, and then you'll have Conan the Barbarian guy.
Yeah, if they want,
yeah, then you just kind of become murder hobos.
Well, see, the rules are designed specifically to avoid the instances of murder hobos. Murder hobos, for those who don't know, are basically when you play a role-playing game, in my opinion, often there's no stakes, so you just go around killing everyone you see. In the game.
That's right. You go into a village, and the games master might have set up a store for you to buy things of, and suddenly the players are saying, I just kill the storekeeper and take all the things.
Yeah, I mean, that's the easy way of doing it, yeah.
So, your game is very dense, and we've got our hands on the kind of player's Dungeon Master Compendium. We'll show it up to the camera.
Oh, yes, the camera. Ah.
There we go.
For those who are watching the stream and not just listening.
This beautifully produced Kingdoms of Amnesia, tabletop role-playing game by Edward Williams. Now, what sparked the initial idea for Kingdoms of Amnesia? Was there something that said, I need to create this world?
Well, I've always been a creative person, as you know, Craig, but I started to try and make tabletop role-playing games when I couldn't afford Dungeons and Dragons. So I couldn't afford Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. So I decided to make a game. However, I didn't know what I was doing, and so there was no systematic way about it. And the mechanics came first, and then the lore sort of sprinkled its way in and filtered in as I started to make it, as it started to become more solid as a game.
So this has been in your mind for a while.
Yes.
How long has it taken you to develop the game from that initial concept to this completion?
Let me just do the maths in my head. Play some music whilst you're waiting for this.
I just want to say here, I'm glad that they found like decimal currency in the world, because 1 gold coin is worth 10 silver coins. Brilliant.
Yes. Okay. So it is decimalized, and it does use the metric system because
Brilliant.
Because it's not a traditional fantasy setting.
Yeah.
Which I'll get into in a moment if you want. So let's see, how long has it been? It has been 14 years.
14
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so this has really been percolating for quite a while.
Yeah. And look, for those of you who have seen the book, it's only 50 pages. But those are 50 pages which has been distilled down to the very, very best and refined and refined and refined. And I've started again about 4 or 5 times. I think it's 4 times. At one stage, there was a version of the game that was 115 pages, but it was just so messy. And I think the length or the volume within the book isn't a reflection of the quality inside.
Right. Okay, well, we might...
as in, there's no correlation between the thickness and quality, is what I meant to say.
But it's still quite a hefty tome. Okay, so let's go into the concept of this world that you're setting up. History's been fractured and restarted.
Yes.
Which is a really fascinating premise to start the world with. What drew you to explore this theme of kind of lost memory and cyclical struggle?
Well, it all started out as a thought experiment to see if I could create the perfect world. And then as I was creating this perfect world, I realized that, hang on a second, I'm becoming a despot in this perfect world. So it sort of made me really realize that, wow, even like no matter how good your intentions are, you always end up sort of going, if only people just did what I said, then everything would be good. And then you realize, oh, hang on, I'm being a bit of a dictator here. So it basically boils down to that thought experiment, and then sort of stories kind of spin off from there. And so the quote-unquote perfect world is actually an imperfect world because it's enforced by thought policing, and well, not thought policing, more like Huxley's Brave New World rather than 1984.
Well, let's go into those 3 central mythical characters that are in this. So you've got the whale, the Leviathan, and the minnow. So
the minnow is a very minor character. Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, my favorite. Okay.
Okay, so the minnow. Okay, so the minnow.
What's their relationship to each other?
So the minnow is actually a very important character, just not very. The role of the minnow is sort of a bit more of a secretive thing at the moment. I sort of want to kind of drip feed out the story and so have the mystery kind of unwrap as people play the game, as people get interested in it. Even if people are just interested in the story and not necessarily the game, that's fine with me. But I will talk about the whale and what was the other one that...
So we've got the whale,
You know this?
Leviathan.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay, so my interpretation of what the important characters are versus your interpretation of what the important characters are.
Because what we've got here,
Yeah.
the settings, this is a post-cataclysmic.
Yes.
Well, and so history's been fractured and restarted, and then you've got this deep lore involving powerful mythical entities.
Yes.
You've got the whale, the Leviathan, and the minnow, and this complex social and political dynamics,
Yes.
which is centered on the enigmatic emperor
Yes.
and ancient machines like the Colossus.
Yes.
Right? So there's this really detailed... And then in the rulebook, you've got the core rules and the advanced rules.
Yes.
Right, and so there's this mechanics that cover everything from character creation, combat, magic, environment, social interaction. So I want to dig into some.
Yeah. A plus.
First thing to start with is this world building.
Yes.
Right? So these three central characters. What is the relationship between these mythic entities?
Okay, so I'll start with the
Whale,
Leviathan.
minnow. Yep.
The Leviathan is the easiest one. The Leviathan is basically ripped straight out of Thomas Hobbes, this philosopher, economist, political analyst from the 1700s. Basically, his thick tome can boil down to basically government entities spiral out of control. No matter who's in charge, no matter how good the intentions are, they start to eat away at society, and society collapses in on itself because of the government sort of, yeah.
Sounds like BioShock, or what's the video game? It's a great premise. This one where utopic vision, then
and that's the Leviathan. The Leviathan is an actual entity that starts off as I love this. So,
please.
So the Leviathan starts off as a small serpent, much like the serpent in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
Adam and Eve. And then, so it sort of digs its fangs, I guess you could call them, into someone or a group of people. I'm not going to say who, because that gives away too much of the mystery of this story. And then it sort of grows into this Leviathan that basically swallows everything in its path.
Yes.
But it sort of collapses in under its own weight before that happens. And then it starts off as a small serpent again and sort of slowly builds up. And so it's a repeating cycle.
So that's the Leviathan.
That's the Leviathan.
And the whale?
The whale is sort of more like an innocent bystander in all of this, and that the source of all life comes from this whale.
And the whale kind of sacrifices itself.
It's sort of
right.
Not necessarily sacrifice. It sort of becomes catatonic and is in a state of shock after this apocalypse that happened hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, and that seems really central to the theme of the role-playing game.
Yeah.
This kind of, the whale sacrifice is kind of a central aspect to.
Yeah. Well, it's not a voluntary sacrifice. It's a sacrifice that just comes about because of the amount of destruction. It can't handle it. And it also represents wisdom being passed down through the ages. And because it's in a catatonic state,
Yes.
everyone forgets, hence the name Kingdoms of Amnesia. So everyone forgets what actually happened in the past.
So like a fall of the Roman Empire, Dark Ages.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Loss of all that wisdom, and then you have the Renaissance.
Yeah.
800 years after.
And the minnow, is representative of more. So yes, the whale does sacrifice itself, but it's an unwitting or involuntary sacrifice. Whereas the minnow is a voluntary sacrifice, and it's basically saying that it doesn't matter how small you think you are in this world. If you sacrifice yourself, then that is one of the biggest things you could do anyway. So,
Like the final episode of Squid Games. No spoilers there.
Hey, I haven't watched it.
I haven't.
Sacrifice is pretty much wrapped into its DNA.
I've only seen the first series, to be honest.
Okay. But, fortunately here to promote Squid Games.
Yes. Forget about this minnow and this whale and Leviathan. The Squid Games. No.
I did want to talk about the Colossus. Right? So without spoilers, if you could hint at what the role of the ancient machine part is, right? The Colossus in this world.
It's less of a philosophical and conceptual entity. It's more of a leftover soldier.
Right. So it's a bit like, it reminds me a bit of the some of Miyazaki's anime, the Laputa film, where you have those
That Colossus thing.
Colossus
right?
robots that are all kind of, nature's reclaimed them in a way, but they could get reactivated and...
Exactly, yeah. It's more of a blank slate than the other three.
So, dense, fascinating world building within this. The other thing that really struck me as I was reading through it was your philosophy towards being a game master.
Yes.
At certain points, you'll address the reader about how you kind of feel a games master could best approach unpacking all this and delivering content.
Yeah, and that's a section in the book that I had to think long and hard before actually putting it in, because I was thinking, what right do I have to tell people how to play the game? Because I do repeat somewhere in the book that it's their game, they can play it however they want. So really, who am I to say, no, this is how it should be played? Then I thought, bugger it. Gary Gygax did it, and I'm going to do it. But mine's more suggestions rather than prescriptions. I'm not telling people what they have to do, just more sort of, hey, look, it might be a good idea to approach it this way. So some of the things that I say in there, like you're not there to write a story, you're there to role play. And for a lot of people, that might come across as being a bit sort of, well, hang on, isn't the act of role playing collaboratively going to end up in a story? Yes, it is. But if your intention is to create a story, then you go and create contrivances for your characters and sort of go, well, it would make a better story if my character didn't do this, so I know that my character would do that, but I'm going to make them do this, so we've got a cool story to go along with it.
Because I like that distinction and emphasis you placed on game masters. And the game master, of course, is the person who's directing the action. They're the ones who will set up, so you're in a wilderness, you're coming to a tavern. The game master is, in my opinion, and again, everyone, this is my opinion. You can have differing opinions, and but this is mine. This is mine. Damn it! I'm sorry. Getting a bit angry there. So, in my opinion, the game master is there to create the environment with which the other players interact with the world, and it's difficult to sort of. Because on one hand you go, well, the game master generally puts a heck of a lot more effort in than the players. They're putting in a lot of effort into the scenarios, into the locations and the NPCs, non-player characters. But that should be done willingly, and it should be not a burden, but something that they do out of joy and passion and love for their players.
and I'm very big on this sort of showing love to people, and yes, love might be a bit of a strong word, but it's the word I like to use.
Because you do make that point that the game master should see themselves as facilitators,
yes,
rather than storytellers
yes.
controlling the narrative. And it's a very strong stance to take. And I was kind of curious if there was a kind of personal experience that led you to that. Was there a game experience that you've had where that it didn't go well? Is there an experience that led you to that philosophy?
Yes, Craig, there is.
Okay. Is it child friendly? Do we need to make a language warning?
No. This is child friendly.
Great.
Basically, I've gone into games blind where GMs sort of they have this mentality of no, this is what we're doing. You will do this, and this is the role you play within that. And if you deviate from that role, then you're not playing it properly. And I'm just sort of thinking, what? This is insane. I'm here to enjoy myself, and you're here to enjoy yourself. And if, in order for you to enjoy yourself, you have to sort of shackle your fellow playmates, that's kind of, it just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, so rather than facilitating a direction, that might not be the initial plan the game master have.
And this is why I say role play, not storytelling, because if you're telling a story, then the GM in their mind goes, no, you're supposed to be doing this. You need to follow the story, because if you're not doing this, you're not following the story, you're not playing my game. And and I've also had GMs where it's like, okay, we're going to break for lunch now, back in 15 minutes. I'm thinking, is this a am I at work? Is this a 15-minute break from my job? So a lot of the experiences I have had have been very much that, and then the GMs also hold it over the other players that they've put in all this effort, they've paid all this money for all these books and all this stuff, and I'm thinking, yes, you have, but that doesn't give you the right to dictate to me the terms of this session.
Yeah, there should be, and because I guess if the GM isn't going to listen, what is your recourse? To just leave? Or to
look, I think it's best to just leave. Give them a chance or two. In the past, I haven't done that, but that's only in circumstances where the GM has been a real, this is you are here to roll dice. You're not here to make decisions, and that's where I go, I've been lied to. I'm not going to play, and I just leave.
Because I guess it's tricky, isn't it? If you're a new GM in particular, to shift that mode of thinking from feeling you need to control the story to being able to embrace player agency. And honestly, there is no right answer. That's just my opinion. The reality is that that there's hours upon hours, hundreds, thousands, probably millions of hours of YouTube videos and millions of articles of people discussing this very topic, and there's no consensus, and so I guess it's very context specific.
Exactly, and you there might be a situation where one of your players has a bit of anxiety around making decisions, and they may need a little bit of additional support in that, and that inevitably results in you taking away some of their agency, which, if that's how you want to deal with it, if that's what makes you both comfortable, then that makes you both comfortable. And so I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm just saying my thoughts on it. So it even says my thoughts on being a GM. It doesn't say...
Yes.
It doesn't say this is how you have to play the game. Oh yeah, my thoughts on TTRPG, so tabletop role-playing game. There we go.
It is mapped out.
Yeah.
I mean, in there, you do write specifically of these consequences being real and unavoidable.
Yeah.
Any other examples that you've encountered?
Yeah, but they're a bit too close.
Because it's very emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, there's... In these spaces, it can be... You're having to be vulnerable.
Yeah. You can easily destroy friendships if you don't handle it properly.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... You know...
But again, I guess...
Yeah, it's difficult because it's just a game. But
Yes.
but you could really screw up friendships if you don't approach it, you know, in a way that is wholesome for everyone.
And I found that's on page 2 of the manual to be really important. You know, that you mapped it out. Again, I appreciate the difficulty of starting that conversation. But you know, as we're mapping out here, I think it's so important. A lot of people forget that step of laying some ground rules or some expectations or just hearing what each other expect their roles will be in this space. And before you know it, it's gone too far down and you've potentially broken something, either the game or a friendship. Yeah. So, because equally, you know, there's more positive stories that come out of these environments of role-playing games than negatives, fortunately. It can be a great space to develop and enrich friendships.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know, you can help grow your friendships. You can help your problem solving and your communication skills and your maths.
Hell yes.
You can expand all sorts of things through role playing, but sometimes you can have a negative experience, and when you have negative experience after negative experience after negative experience, you sort of got to ask yourself, what's the common denominator? You know, why?
Me?
Yeah, is it me? You know, and you know, reality is it could be me. I could be the problem.
Yeah, or it could be a particularly toxic environment. Yeah.
I mean, I had the arrogance to create my own tabletop role-playing game because nobody was playing the way I wanted to play.
Which is great. I mean, I think that's fantastic, moving it from, you know, thought to practice. Now, you mentioned maths, so I want to talk a bit about the mechanics and some of the design decisions you made. So you've chosen the D100 instead of the classic D20. Why the D100?
Good question, Craig. I've wrestled long and hard for 14 years to come up with the answer. Well, 13 years at the time of this radio show. So it initially was. This is going back like 14 years. So the initial thing was there would be, I think, 6 stats, fairly generic stats. And for every point in that stat, you got 1d6. So I'm going to use terms that may not make sense to some people, so I'm just going to explain that. A 1d6 is a 6-sided dice, or die. So that was cool because you got to roll a lot of dice, because a lot of the fun is rolling a lot of dice.
As long as the numbers are good.
Yeah. But the game was so unbalanced, which for a tabletop role-playing game, balance isn't necessarily the most important thing. Yeah. But it was so unbalanced that I thought, because you'd have someone with 2 in a stat and someone with 5 in a stat, and you'd be rolling 2 dice and they'd be rolling 5, and you go, well, this isn't fun, So it went from that to 2d6 because I thought, bell curve. Everyone likes the bell curve. Anything to avoid a d20 because I don't like the lottery aspect of it. The sort of what number's gonna come up, and I know for a lot of people that is actually part of the appeal, that is the draw, but for me that's not really compelling gameplay.
Particularly, yes, if you constantly crap out on those rolls, it can seem punishing in terms of it's not anything I'm doing in terms of my decision making. It's just bad luck with these damn dice rolls, and that can quickly get old fast.
Yeah.
So you've gone for a D100 system.
A D100 system, and the reason I've gone for a D100 system is because the stats make me go for a D100 system. So, in Kingdoms of Amnesia, unlike
Say it. Say it.
Unlike Dungeons and Dragons,
Should be a bingo card that we're going to use.
unlike Dungeons or Dragons and Dragons, unlike Dungeons and Dungeons and Dragons and Dragons, what am I saying?
We're giving a lot of promotion for the game.
Yeah,
you have some messages coming through.
Kingdoms of Amnesia. So unlike games of that ilk, what is the point I'm trying to make?
Oh, hold on. Well, let's go to the messages.
Yeah.
Okay,
We have Nathan. Can you read that from where you are?
Not really.
Okay, hold on. We have Nathan, Sylvester, Taylor, we miss you. And what's the topic today? Okay, well, just to remind people, tuning in, Edge Radio 99.3 FM.
Just reminding my stalker, yeah.
Yeah. We're talking with game designer Edward Williams about his latest new game, Kingdoms of Amnesia, which you can see on the live stream now. And this is a tabletop role-playing game. It's a local game created here. And where can people find this if they're wanting to dig into it while we're talking about it?
That is a good question. So I'm good at the creating side. I'm not very good at the distributing side. So there's a place called SB Games, not EB Games. SB Games on Elizabeth Street.
All right.
They're being sold there. I'm sort of testing the waters with Area 52, and I will eventually get around to talking to
Mona?
Good Games.
Oh.
Good Games.
Oh,
Good
great.
Games. No, is that it? Yeah, Good Games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, Good Games.
That's a great friend of the show.
Yeah.
So Good Games is on Brisbane Street. There, I saved it. So, okay, so the reason that I've gone with a D100 system, and the reason that the stats are the way that they are, so there is 21 stats or 22 stats, I forget, is because it's more stats based than abilities based. So in the other game, you choose abilities and you get more abilities, and that allows you to do more things in a different way, whereas mine is just more sort of, everyone can swim, it just depends on how competently they can swim.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, having said that, there are abilities in the game, otherwise it would be there'd be no real flavour to the mechanics. And that's why D100, to give people that room to put more and more points into those stats.
So, you also have core rules and advanced rules. How would you suggest players approach that?
Okay, well, Craig, so there's actually core rules, advanced rules, and additional rules.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So additional rules are okay. Now, there is a reason. So the core rules are, you really need to know these rules in order to play effectively. Otherwise, you're going to have to constantly ask someone sitting next to you, how do I do this? And
how do I get my health going?
Yeah. And so that's only 1.5 pages or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
It is. two pages, 2.5 pages.
2.5 pages. I know the game backwards and frontwards. I like the front of my hand. Kingdoms of Amnesia. That's what we're talking about. Okay,
That's right.
Yeah. So
The additional rules is 1.5.
yes, that's it. So the core rules are sort of. I hate using the word mandatory in order to play the game. You need to know the core rules in order to play the game. The additional rules are also rules that you need to know, but if you're not going to use them, then you don't need to know them. So, like, if you don't plan on sneak attack grappling someone, for example, that's an additional rules. You don't need to know it. You just need to know that that is a possibility. Advanced rules are sort of when you want to add little customizations to the game.
Right. Yep.
Though, of course, I do endorse homebrewing. Homebrewing is always good.
And that's where you kind of set up house rules, or you want to put some cyberpunk stuff in there, or...
Yeah, exactly. Because I understand that I'm not going to be able to cover everything for everyone. I'm not going to be able to be everything to everyone. So I'm just making the game that I enjoy playing.
It's fantastic.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah.
The next kind of system I want to talk about is the magic system.
Yes.
Okay, so in the magic system, you've got magic and mana stats.
Yes.
So why did you split the magic system into having mana and magic?
So your mana is your capacity to perform magic, and your magic is your ability to perform magic.
So is mana like the you'll exhaust it and
No.
renew it?
No. So there's no real resource management when it comes to magic in this game, which I know for a lot of people, resource management is a part of the appeal.
Because resource management is where you'll need to collect some gems or have enough of something, and then you'll expend it, and then you need to find some more to renew it, or you'll need to rest for a day or something like that. That kind of renew system.
Yeah, and that does add limitations to the game. I appreciate that. But you know, if you want to have things that deplete, if you want your mana to deplete, then you could make it deplete. It doesn't bother me. It's your game.
So remind me again. So what are the two systems? So that's the magic and mana are.
Yeah. So mana is your capacity. So the more powerful spells require more mana.
Yep.
And your magic is your ability to actually cast it. So you might have, say, 100 mana and 40 magic, and you try to cast this
Fireball.
This massive fireball.
Yeah.
And you can, theoretically you can, but your chances of actually pulling it off successfully are greatly diminished.
Yep, because you're only sitting on a 40 magic score.
Yeah.
But your mana's up at 100, which is a large number.
Yep, and you're trying to cast a spell that requires 100 mana, yeah.
Right, yeah. Because it is one of those things where you're trying to solve a problem as you're getting the mechanics set up.
Yeah.
That's addressing a very real world thing. If you need to skill up, you need to cultivate and develop.
Yeah.
All right, so the next system I want to talk about, if there's nothing further, the magic system. Any questions about magic? Harry Potter universe guy?
Potter, of course.
Yeah. Can you do
Expelliarmus.
Expelliarmus?
You can with disarming someone physically, yes. That's what Expelliarmus does, isn't it? Yeah.
Isn't that all that Harry Potter does throughout the series? That's his one spell.
No, that's the bad guys. He does Patronus at one stage.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Skipping on.
Well, no, I think I'll just
please.
But with the magic, it's more conceptual than so. There's no like fireball. It's just sort of this spell does damage. It's up to you if it's up to you if you think
If
it's
it
a
has an
fireball.
element or something.
Yeah, like it's up to you if it's a fireball or you know just a magical entity or whatever. Like So it means that I could strip down the magic and make it like
Right.
5 or 6 pages, and you just sort of play around with the rules within the magic system.
So you can role play into the magic
Yeah.
experience, but in terms of crude numbers, there's damage, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
there's
a damage point that you'll roll. And...
yeah, and that, you know, admittedly, it could be considered lazy, because because you know, like I could go, oh well, there's a magic missile, and that's
Yes.
just raw damage, and then there is a fireball, and that does fire damage,
And
which does
area.
this additional thing, area damage, all that sort of stuff. But that's the way I've done it, because I want people to focus more on, you know, trying to play around with the spell,
Yes.
you know, manipulate it in a way that works for their character or solves the problem in front of them. Sorry to
No, I think that's
bring it
really
back to that.
revealing. I like that. Because the other system I wanted to talk about was the opinion system for social interactions. So at the moment, you've, or in the game, you've got a range from adore to hate.
Yes.
And I think that's really interesting. So how do you reckon that's going to affect, or have you seen it affect the role-playing at the table?
Well, so this is one of the things. So there are several mechanics that I've made to try and prevent murder hobos. This is the main thing,
Yes.
because it's sort of, well, if you could be a murder hobo, but then everyone in town hates you, so they're not really going to answer your questions as readily. They're not going to be as easily persuaded by you or whatever, you know. So if you need information out of someone, they're not just going to say, "Oh, yeah, sure, I'll give it to you," because they've seen you.
Because you've got that social interaction score of hate.
Yeah, and it's that sort of that scales to whatever the GM sort of decides. Like if they decide that's an entire country that hates you, or just that town, or just that one person,
Right.
or that guild,
Yep.
or you know, whatever.
Message through from Strategic Wealth. Thank you very much for welcoming back. It's good to be back. And it's great to have a great show with Edward Williams talking about his new tabletop role-playing game that he's just developed, Kingdoms of Amnesia, available locally in Hobart. Will it be available overseas and interstate? You got an Amazon deal coming around?
No. So unfortunately, I decided to make this in A4,
Right.
which limits it
Because you can print on demand, right? If you...
Yes. So if I want to distribute it globally, I can do it in its current form, but it would cost a lot more, and I'd have to deal with import, export nonsense. Or I could reformat it onto size that can
letter
be
size, whatever they use in the US.
whatever's globally distributable. Yeah. Yes, there is a plan eventually to get to that stage, but I want to focus on Tasmania and
Yay.
yay. I want to focus on Tasmania, and then maybe there are parts of Europe which, because I've got friends in Europe and England, I can sort of give them a few copies to sort of spread the good word.
At the moment, it's only available in print, not electronic form yet.
Correct, because I haven't. I don't know what I'm doing, Craig. I'm solving one problem at a time, and I'm trying to do it correctly, and I don't know the best way to go about it, to be honest.
I think it's coming along really, really well. Sorry, I just got to turn my plug on.
My real focus is to support the people who already have a copy and really sort of help them understand the game, and if they've got questions, they can ask me. Speaking of which,
Yes.
there is an email for Kingdoms of Amnesia. No, not in the book. I'm sorry, guys. Look, I can't think of everything, despite what you may think. So the email is no capitals, kingdomsofamnesia@gmail.com.
Right.
Kingdoms of Amnesia at gmail.com. It's that. If you've got any questions about the game, or if you're interstate and you want a copy, we can discuss how to get a copy to you. So
there we go. Yes, because I think that just got posted on our chats from.
What about the rest of the nation? Well, the rest of the nation. Look, Sydney is a big place. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start in Melbourne. I don't know where to start in Brisbane, Adelaide. Because the thing is that I've already got these relationships with these game store owners, and like I know their name, they know my name, and we can build off that. Trying to approach stores in the rest of the nation is pretty overwhelming to me at the moment, and until I've got a product that I can say, hey, look, it's really popular in Tasmania, they're not really going to be interested in it. But to individuals that want to reach out to me, then there is that email, yes, kingdomsofamnesia@gmail.com.
Well, we'll put those contact details up in the show notes.
Can I just ask a bit of a few questions about how you sort of like set it out? Like, what sort of software did you use to create this? Is this Word?
Just a word processor.
Really,
Wow.
just Microsoft Word,
Yeah.
or equivalent.
Oh, well,
Google
a
Docs.
free equivalent, yeah.
LibreOffice. Or...
WPS Office.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
the only thing that I regret is that because these just make it special copies. So this copy, as you can see, the border isn't equidistant from the top and the sides.
Yeah.
It was designed to be shrunk down slightly to actually fit on the page,
Yeah.
which I had done, but then I added an extra 2 pages, and so I had to redo the
Right.
cover,
Yeah.
and I forgot to resize the front.
Because I was
Yeah.
noticing that because there's quite a big border
Yeah.
around these ones, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Who is on the cover? Who is that a picture of?
that is the Emperor.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
So when
Who's-
it says like inside cover concept by Edward Williams,
Yeah.
cover concept, does that mean produced with AI?
No.
This is uncut. Oh, it's an
No.
important moral question to ask these
Exactly,
days,
yeah.
isn't it? I mean,
I believe in supporting artists, and I believe in paying them what they ask plus more if you can afford it. So this, without getting into too many details, because I don't want to, so I went to Fiverr
Okay, yeah.
and got the artwork commissioned, and so I basically told this person, this is what I want, and here's a picture of something that kind of is an
Similar.
inspiration for it. Beyond that, do what you want. So I came up with the concept, but I didn't actually draw it. An artist on Fiverr did.
Yeah.
Now I asked explicitly if they wanted to be credited. They basically said no.
Yeah.
Which I think, okay, fair enough. If they don't want to be credited, then 25% tip.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
like
Yeah.
because I also want to remain friends with this artist because I want to get them to do things
More,
in the future. So
well, it's great artwork.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really I think it's really wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look, it has that kind of haunted, sunken face. And he's a... Well, actually, I was going to start going into characters and creation. We've got about 5 minutes left. No, we'll have to get you back. But do you have any favourite or unusual characters that have been created within this system? Because it's quite a detailed character creation system you've set up in the game.
Well, not really. I just sort of what happens. Like I'm not really. No, do it.
Because you play tested it with friends,
Yeah,
and family.
yeah.
And
No,
what
not
are-
family. They wouldn't be interested.
What are the types of characters that emerge in this game? Like we're talking dwarfs and elves.
Yeah,
or...
they're like just people. Because the other game, which for those
do not.
for those of you who are listening, you probably know what game I'm talking about. That's sort of, it's centered around heroes. You know, you become heroes, and you're whereas mine's sort of more explorers and people trying to explore and discover the secrets of the world, or whatever their motivations are. And so the character design or the character creation is designed to create basically your average person, and then over the course of your adventures you increase in skill.
Because we've only got a little bit of time left, I do know you've got ambitious plans to explore further aspects of this world.
Yes.
Right? Haven, Temples of the Ancient World, the Necromancer. Which one are you the most excited to jump into and start fleshing out? That's
a bit of a loaded question, because what I'm most excited for and what I can actually achieve is different. So the Necromancer is the one that I'm doing at the moment. Basically getting someone to write the story for that one, because I'm more of the large concepts and the broader lore of the world. But I think that if I'm writing everything, then I'm not good with names. so you know, it's not going to create compelling names. So if I commission someone else to do it and say, here's the kind of story I want you to write, then there's more compelling names and a more diverse spectrum of opinions and views and inputs into the world. So the Necromancer is the one that's being done at the moment. That's the easiest one. Not to say that it's bad, it's just easier to get done. Haven is probably the most difficult, because that is that's going to explore a place that has many, many more answers to the ancient past than any other story. But it requires a lot more time and a lot more thought to put into it to actually get done.
All right. Well, sadly, we'll need to start wrapping up. So we've already said a little bit about where people can find the game and connect with the community. This, of course, is Kingdoms of Amnesia, the tabletop role-playing game by Edward Williams. Are you setting up any community for this game? Is it going to be like a Discord or a Facebook?
I'm not so...
Or the fans? You hear like the fans do it.
I'm not so good at these things, Craig. Look, maybe a Discord. I want it to be... I don't know what I want it to be. I don't know how to manage it. I don't know how to build it. All I know is that I just want to show people, and if they get excited about doing it and they want to get involved, then they can do that. And I'm more than happy for people to sort of take on board or take it on board and fly away with it. That's fine. I mean, it's my game that I made, but you know, it's also their game that they can play, kind of thing.
Wonderful. Well, we will put any details you'd like to share with us on the show notes. We have one. Yeah. Thank you very much for Big Boy Natalie. I need to move my glasses. Great stream as always. See you next week. Yes, so we will be back next week.
Yep.
With a new topic. But we will post show notes up about Kingdoms of Amnesia, the tabletop role-playing game by Edward Williams, up on podcast as well as on the YouTube and Instagram. If people do want to reach out to you, they can grab you on the email.
That email, kingdomsofamnesia@gmail.com. I'm pretty accessible in other ways.
Okay, what's your address?
Sorry?
Okay, what's your address?
No. Like I'm sure people, especially in Hobart, would be able to track me down. I'm
Yeah.
But like, it's easier for me to compile like all the information on email. I'm a simple man. Email's the way to go for me. If people want to make a Discord, they can.
Yeah, well, that's always my hope with our fans.
Yeah. Not happened.
In the future. Well, William, thanks very much for coming on. Edward, I think that was one of your characters. Edward Williams. I was just Mr. Williams.
How many times have you had him on the show?
Edward Williams.
Norris.
Lidston.
Yep. Lidston. Norris. Norris, Lidston.
Well, it's a way they know we're not AI. Look at the streams. I mean, there's no AI happening on that stream. Who knows what AI mess is happening on the stream?
What is happening there, actually? Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening to Edge Radio and Media Mothership for another week. We'll be back next week with some new exciting stuff on Kingdoms of Amnesia and any other. I just changed.
Very fitting. Very fitting. Kingdoms of Amnesia.
Oh, we're paused again. Anyway.
All right.
Keep listening now to Edge Radio for some really cool music. And thanks again, Taylor and Edward, for coming along.
See you, everybody. Bye-bye, Norris.
Bye.